have to say something about my face because if anybody's going to notice, I've been boxing a little bit and I got tagged, so I'm not a freak or anything. Well, I am today, so
That's a
I
good
have to explain it. Now, what's wrong with Madsen's face? Well, it should go down. I should have put some ice on it, but nobody be looking at me. They're going to be looking at you because you're 10 times better looking. So
Your face looks just slightly different than when I watched you in The Natural last week.
Oh, only slightly?
Just a little, not a lot.
That was scary,
Pretty
wasn't
close.
it? Yeah, I was 29 years old.
You were 29 then?
Yeah.
You looked even young. You looked way younger than 29. You were a baby.
I had just come to LA when I did that fucking thing.
God, it was so good. That movie.
You know why I did it?
Loved it.
Was because I was never a jock in high school, right?
Yeah.
I was the guy who was smoking weed in the parking lot.
You were the bad
I was the
boy.
one who would steal your car, right? Or take your girlfriend from someone, or
Right.
break into your house. And when I found out where you lived, and all the jocks, they hated me, right?
Yeah.
All the big handsome guys were throwing the football in the parking lot, and I was never a part of that whole fucking thing. And when they asked me to do the natural, I said, "Oh man,
I get to be an athlete."
Major League Baseball player, huh? Yeah, I can do that."
Yeah.
And the whole time I kept thinking about someone from that part of my life seeing me in the movie. You going, "Holy shit.
He can
Michael
play
Madsen.
too.
Holy fuck.
He can play as
He
well.
can play. What
He can
the
do
hell?
everything.
We
He steals
fucked up."
girlfriends and has an arm. No, you were
Yeah, all
so
right.
good. What a way to go in a movie, though, huh? What a way to go
Yeah,
out.
well,
I
it
mean,
was-
I went, wait, what? Where'd he go?
That's me who went through the wall.
I know.
No, I did it for real.
Oh, you did it for real? Did you really?
They had balsa wood,
Yeah.
panels,
Yeah.
and out there in the outfield. And behind the panel was a big mattress.
Yeah.
And the stunt guy who was doing it before me, he ran and he caught the ball, but he hit the panel, the one that was solid.
Oh my God, the in between, like the
Yeah, he bounced.
my God.
He bounced off of it and he fucked up his shoulder.
Oh my God.
And he was conked out. And I kept saying, "I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it."
Right.
And Barry Levinson did not want me to do it. He said, "No, Michael, no,
get
no,
hurt.
you can't do it." And fucking Redford spoke up for me, actually. I always appreciate that he said that. But he goes, "Let Michael do it if he wants to do it." And so in the movie, that's
was
me.
you flying through the damn thing.
I had to
Looked
do
a
it.
little painful, so
I wanted
even
to do
with
this balsa wood.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That was really fun to see you in that. That was a fun surprise.
You know, man, I like those stunts.
I do too. Yeah.
What-
My God.
You did plenty of them. Well, let me start over again. When were you born?
I was born in August 74, August 15th, 1974. So almost 50 years ago.
What was the first movie that you saw that made you think that you wanted to be an actress?
I want to say like going back to Wizard of Oz days or different things like that, but it wasn't that. It was drama in school. It was being a kid and doing what we're doing here, holding a microphone up or
Yeah.
a brush up and interviewing people. I was interested in people. Like I loved people, you know?
Was it because you're so very attractive? Did it work against you, or did people, because people look at you, they go, "Oh my God, look at her." I mean, does it help, or
Sweet.
does it go against you, like when you were starting out?
Nobody wants to be the spoiled girl who says, "My looks really played against me." Nobody's ever going to do that, okay? Because looks definitely help, and they get you
Yeah.
in the door, and it's a visual medium, and certainly for Species, I mean, they wanted somebody, who was a beautiful girl.
Well, that's why you're here, because we did Species together.
Yeah.
And God damn it, I always wondered, what had you done before? How did they
Nothing.
find you? How did they find you for Species? You obviously, did you have to read for Roger?
Oh my God, I read so many times for that movie. And then I did a screen test. But I
my
read, and
God.
it was over a several month period. I lived in New York at the time, was modeling, had done some TV commercials, ended up reading for the thing, didn't know what I was doing at all.
Did they explain to you what it was about and stuff?
They gave me the gist of it. Eventually they gave me the script, like I think before we did the screen test, I read the script and stuff. So that was fun. But I had no idea what I was in for. Like no idea what I was doing. Didn't know it was going to be a big, I don't think any of us knew it was going to be a big movie.
No, we didn't.
Yeah,
Not at all.
thought it was gonna
I
be
just wanted to be
successful.
the good guy instead of the villain.
For a change.
I did The Getaway with Roger.
That's right. That's
and
right.
the whole time I kept saying, Roger, why do I always have to get bumped off at the end? And I want to be the hero, please, Roger. And then he got Species and he brought me in for the goddamn thing.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, Michael, here you go,
Yeah. Finally had the opportunity to.
Yeah, and now it seems like I would have liked to have kept doing that, but unfortunately,
The real you came through, and it just spills out into your work. I'm kidding. You're a good guy. I'm teasing you.
You handled it so well, though. I mean, you acted like it was the most natural thing in the world. I remember a lot. I looked at it again a while ago, and
really,
you're just like when you're walking down the street with all the crowds of people,
right?
And they have that music, and you're just looking around. It's like
taking it in.
How did you?
That's so funny.
You became immediately believable that you were this thing that you were supposed to be. That you were a species. You were a thing. What were you thinking in your head?
A role like that where you're put in a position where everything is brand new to you and you're taking everything in for the first time and you're actually living that as well. So, I mean, it was my first time in a movie.
That makes sense.
And I was like...
No, that's cool.
No, but look, I did a little bit of research and I did what I could do in that position. And I think Roger was particular. He's super particular, super specific. I mean, there was a couple of scenes that I did 40, 50 times, coming through with extras and stuff like that. I mean, he did a lot of takes of things too. So luckily they got enough to put together. But back to your question about getting that role, it took months and months and months. And I was away for months. I would be in New York and then I'd be in Europe and then they'd call me back in for another thing. And then I came out and I screen tested with 4 other girls. There were 4 other girls on the screen test.
Who else was up for that thing? You got to remember. You must remember. It
was weird because they were people that I recognized their faces. I want to say Famke Janssen was one of them. I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like maybe. She was there. There were like other women that I vaguely recognized.
Laura and Holly, maybe.
Perhaps. Yeah, there were some women. I think they liked the idea that they didn't know me. Nobody knew who I was for that character as well. That I'd never done anything before. So
right after it came out, did you get like really besieged with offers? I mean, was it like everyone wanted you suddenly all of a sudden?
There was so much interest and the movie did well. There was so much interest.
Yeah, my God, it must have been a big thing for you, right?
It was such a spotlight on me and I was suddenly meeting the head of every single studio in LA and I really was not prepared for that at all. I was so, not the meeting. I can meet and talk to anybody. So that part wasn't hard. It was them talking about putting me in these films with these big people that I just wasn't ready for. You know what I mean? I just wasn't ready acting wise. I was scared. I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I don't know, what am I doing here, kind of thing. So
yeah, but that was your quality though. I mean, that was what that's what made you attractive, was the fact that you weren't playing off of it. And you would think that would have worked in your favor in a giant way though.
I think I was my own self-sabotager. I think I ruined a lot of opportunities. I never understood the idea of be in movies with better people, with better directors and better DPs and better actors, and you're going to look better. I was like, they're all so big and fancy, and what am I doing here? I felt like that imposter syndrome.
You know what? You can be Marlon fucking Brando, and if you're not surrounded by decent people, you can't save the film.
Yeah, so true.
I get stuff where let's get Madsen in there.
Yeah.
But if the movie's crappy, I can't fix it.
The shots are bad. The thing is bad. The lighting.
Michael, we saw you in this thing. You were the best thing in it. And I'm like, yeah, well.
That's not saying much.
Okay, yeah, it didn't, wasn't that difficult. But I know what you mean about having a lot all of a sudden. Mm-hmm. That happened to me. I did these big pictures and what was my name? I'm a tow truck driver from Chicago.
Was it that quick for you too, Michael? I don't know your actual history of how it started.
This is good that we're talking about this stuff. But you're a mother now, right? I mean,
I am, yeah.
Good Lord, how many kids did you have?
I have 2 boys, 2 sons, Tristan and Asher, and Tristan's getting married next month. My son's getting married.
My oldest boy is 32 years old, and a Christian.
It's just crazy.
I can't believe it. I mean, where does the time go?
I know, Michael. I know. It's a good lesson in frigging do the things you enjoy, do it. Now, look, you're doing this, like something you probably never thought you'd be doing, right?
No, I like it for some reason.
Yeah.
It's spontaneous. I'm fascinated by people's stories. A couple of people have come in. Of course, Bruce Dern, you can't get him to stop talking.
Really? Can't get a word in edgewise?
somebody like Slim, he's the drummer for the Stray Cats.
Yeah.
he started talking about so many things that I know that nobody ever knew about, right? And I figured you would kind of be the same, that you probably got a lot of interesting things about you, that nobody knows about. You paint? Are you a painter?
Funny. I go to paint and sips all the time. You know those wine painting classes?
No, I don't. I go for the wine.
That's about it. I go for the wine and the painting, yes. I love anything creative. So making jewelry, painting, all that kind of stuff. But I don't do any of it on a level where I put it out there. I do it for fun. I love hobbies and all that kind of stuff. Like so my boyfriend calls me the cruise director. He laughs. He's like, oh God, here's the cruise director. Like, I always want to do a project. Let's do something. What are we going to make?
You're such an old school gal.
Yeah.
You're like an old school actress, You really are. You're like Doris Day, or you're like Billie Holiday, or you're like well, she was a singer, but you know what I mean.
Take
you what's her name? Who's the one that was married to Clark Gable?
God, don't ask me.
I'm
the worst with names.
Gable, right? Carol Lombard.
Carol
you're kind of like Carol Lombard.
I've heard those kind of things.
That's how you are to me. You have that. You have that thing about yourself as an actress.
Thank
I don't
you.
think it ever got taken advantage of correctly.
Thank you.
I
mean, and bummer. Thank you for the compliment. And yeah, I think you're right in a lot of ways. There were things that I was up for that were very, like LA Confidential, like things that I was up for that were in that world that would have been pretty beautiful kind of roles. But I was too afraid. I mean,
Do you have good representation, though? I mean, what was that about?
I have had good representation. I just never pushed. I've never been a pusher. I like acting and all that kind of stuff, but I can't say I've been I'm not a particularly, what's the word? Aggressive person when it comes to that. I'm like, just live life, see what comes your way.
You remind me of my first wife a lot.
Really?
Yeah, Georgianne. She was Cher's sister. The singer Cher.
Oh, Cher's sister.
Her fucking sister
yes.
was Georgianne of my first wife.
Wow.
They have a very, very similar personality. So
Wow,
I know what you mean when
interesting.
you say that.
Yeah.
But
I could have been a lot hungrier.
if you accept it as a quality, though, and not as a something that's against you, that's what I see. I mean, when even you saying it is attractive. I mean, in the right role,
So
I just think that in the right role with the right script and the right surroundings, you so wonderfully not really fully discovered, sort of, that I always thought. What big pictures did you do after Species?
What did I do? Gosh,
I should know.
I did some action stuff. I know. Where's your research, Michael? I mean, this is your show, dude.
I never watch any movies. I don't
know the names of a movie. I don't know the name of actors in movies. So when you say who was married, I'm like, Google.
I know. I'm terrible about that.
Me too. Terrible.
But I mean, everywhere you go, you're that girl from Species, right?
I mean, definitely Species, the whole 9 yards, people loved as well, with Bruce Willis and Matthew Perry. Did you ever see that comedy kind of thing?
No. Did you have a big part?
Yeah, I did. I was married to Bruce Willis, and then I ended up marrying Matthew Perry's character, and it was
Did you
kind
like
of
Bruce?
comedic.
Working with Bruce?
I did. Yeah, it was different. I worked with him twice on Whole 9 yards and then the Whole 10 yards, and it was very different both times. I think it would depend on whether he was sober or not. You know what I mean?
I know the feeling. I worked with him in Sin City. I mean, we did not get along.
You didn't?
No.
Was he tough on that one?
He just didn't know his dialogue. He never...
Prepared.
I felt like he was really unprepared.
Wow.
And it
interesting.
really put
Is it because
me
he
off
just wanted to change it all the time or something?
No, he just didn't seem like he gave a shit. And it just seemed like, listen, I did my own
You're
drinking.
known for changing your dialogue all the time, by the way. You happen to be known for that. So.
Well, yeah, I do it quite a bit. But at least I can do something.
Right.
Bruce was like, he didn't know what day it was. And
wow.
I had my own years of alcohol. And so I get that. I'm not going to start calling people alcoholics or anything. I don't know if he was drinking or not. If he was, it didn't. That isn't why I'm saying it. He just wasn't present in the moment.
Right.
And I felt offended by it. I was like, you cocksucker. How do you not know? You're Bruce Willis. And, why do you not know what your line is or something like that?
I did not have that experience with him at all.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, he was, maybe his brother was
he
producing.
Was nice.
His brother was producing it, and look, he was like I said, he was a lot of things. He was, you knew when he was around, he took command of the room, and
So he was decent
but he was
to you.
very, very sweet. Yeah, he was. He was.
Okay, no, that's good to know.
I mean, he was, like I said, it was different on both films. It was very different on both films. And I could tell him and Matthew were different on both films. I mean, both of them, I think, had some addiction stuff.
yeah, I bet.
And
Yeah.
actors and the addiction stuff.
Oh, God, honey, listen, I did 10, 15 years of that.
Yeah.
I was a very bad, heavy drinker.
Yeah. Do you drink now?
No, I've been sober.
You've been sober for a long time, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's amazing.
Almost
Good for
2
you.
years,
Amazing.
which is not a very long time. But
That's
in the big scheme of things, I never got on a platform about it, though.
right.
I'm not going to
You
go
don't
on
feel-
Instagram and saying, I'm sober now,
Does it put a pressure on the sobriety for you then, do you think? Like not talking about it?
I think there's a lot of people that would rather remember me that way. Or they doubt whether or not I'm still doing that. Because I did a lot of good pictures like that.
Right.
I didn't. It's
part of your mystique.
I didn't
It's part of your
screw anything up
Right.
except myself, And I think a lot of times because I'm like a counselor now.
Oh,
at
you work
passages-
with
yeah,
people. Amazing.
and which is interesting.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing to be able to give to your experience and to understand where people are coming from.
A lot of people don't want to see you get better. A lot of people don't believe you that you got better. And I found that to be a big problem.
They put you in a box and they want to keep you there.
I remember, I remember you, man, that kind of thing. Oh, so now you don't drink anymore. Oh, sure, yeah. And it's and if you had a great experience with someone during that time,
Yep.
then it's like, oh my God, don't you remember how much fun we had?
We had so much fun. You were so much more fun when
Crazy,
you were.
man. You threw me out the window. Holy shit. You remember you rolled upside down in that car? Yeah, did I? Yeah.
I remember some of those. I remember some of those stories myself.
Oh, well, yeah, sure.
You and I were in a car in Species once, and it was a stunt thing, and you just ran right into the cameras, right into the. It was like at a bus stop, and you were supposed to skid to a stop or something.
That was
right into the cameras.
I know. I remember that. It was a toll gate behind the Pantages Theater.
Is that what it was? Is that where it was?
Yeah, because I was supposed to go around it, and I crashed right fucking into it.
And there was low cameras and stuff like that, or something.
I hit them,
yeah.
I
I think I was in the
smashed
car with you during.
Oh, you
that.
were, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was chasing you around with
Mark
the
Heldenberg.
empath.
Oh, Forrest Whitaker.
Forrest Whitaker
Yes.
and he empathed that you were in there. And I was chasing you to try to find out. And then you got in the car and I took off in the Suburban.
Is that what
and
it
I
was?
crashed into that thing.
Yeah. Something.
That's a good memory. That's wonderful that you remember that.
Funny. It's funny.
Yeah, we wrecked some stuff.
I'm glad you're sober.
Ah, well,
Quite
a lot of people are,
Yeah, I'm sure.
including my family. And you have
most
2 boys.
importantly.
I had 5 of them. So
Yeah.
I lost one of my sons 2 years ago.
I know, Michael.
Yeah, he was in the military, and he didn't want to be a soldier anymore, and he didn't want to be married anymore, and all the big things he planned to do with his life, they weren't working out. And that's really what it was. It's one of those things where if I'd have listened to him more when he was in a bad place, I think I probably could have talked him out of it. But I just didn't seem like it was possible that he would really do it. I didn't realize how dark it actually was.
Did he reach out? Did he talk to you about where he was at and stuff like that?
Well, he was in the military.
Right.
And so they don't want them talking about stuff like that. And he
Put
was
it down, be a man, stand up, be a
Yeah. And they were giving him drugs too, which I just found out. And, I can't be anti-military.
Right.
In the name of God Almighty, it's the United States of America. You can't take a stand against the military. It's not a great idea. I mean, they've taken care of the United States for 100 years.
Yep.
And we got to be glad that they're still doing it.
Yep.
And my son was a soldier. And so, damn me if I'm going to start saying that they did this and they did that.
Right.
But he was on a lot of antidepressive drugs and stuff.
Which can do a real number on everything.
Yeah. It did fuck him up.
Yeah.
And you, as a parent, they don't tell you about that. I mean, he's of age. He's not a minor. He decided to be a soldier, so they're not going to call me up. Hey, Michael, guess what? We're giving your son,
Right.
This and that next week. And,
Right.
he mixed that with alcohol.
Yep.
And he
The
was
worst 2
fucking
things.
hell,
And then
man. You know, he went through boot camp, and he was a sergeant already.
How long was he in the military? Then?
Like
How
4
long?
years.
4 years, wow.
He had just re-signed.
Right.
And he didn't want to do it, but he did it anyway. And he was married, he had a young wife, and they were in Hawaii. You know, he was on base in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And one day he just decided he had enough, and it wasn't what he wanted to do anymore. And you know, I went to his wedding when he got married in Colorado, and he had a nice brown suit on. He came over and he said, "Dad, look." He opens up the jacket, and he had a 45 in his waistband. You know, a Glock, a pistol. You know.
Why?
And you know, and I when I saw it, I thought, "Oh yeah." And he goes, "Yeah," and we thought it was cool. You know, 'cause he's my son. He's an Army guy, and he's a sergeant, and I'm a dad. And oh, you got to carry that around, do you? You know, like, why do you have that?
Right.
And he goes, "Because I can." And I go, "Oh yeah, of course." You know, looking back, you would think I would go to someone and say, "Why the fuck is he walking around with a gun?" You know, you shouldn't get, because obviously they knew that.
Yeah.
Obviously he wasn't hiding it. They had obviously given it to him.
Yeah.
You know, but stuff like that, once you figure it out, it's too late.
I am so sorry, Michael. I
No, I know.
Like, as a mother, as a parent, I just can't even fathom what that's like.
Oh, it's
I
terrible.
saw you know,
I didn't want to, it came up, so I'm talking about it, but I'm only because you have the two boys.
Oh no, trust me.
so I had
And let me
fucking
tell
5
you,
of them,
I have a young. One of my sons is 22, and when I say he's rolled cars, had motorcycle accidents, like every time he would take off from my house, he lives with me now, it was just like a fear of what's going to happen. So it's just a lot.
So
Being a parent is a fucking lot.
It's a lot of
lot.
responsibility. How does that work with your career? Like, have you been able to balance out being a mother and also being, you know, who you are?
They went with me everywhere for years and years and years.
I mean, everybody, Natasha Henstridge, everybody knows. What
I
is
worked
that?
hard. I worked really, really hard, and I traveled a lot. And I had a nanny. I had a wonderful woman that traveled with me, and she was like my husband / wife / nanny / whatever she was.
Don't
get any crazy ideas. It wasn't like that, but she was amazing. And so, you know, we did it as a team, you know, and obviously their dad was in the picture too, of course, but her and I traveled together. It was hard. It was really, really hard because I worked a lot and I traveled a lot, and if I wasn't filming, I was doing PR and I was traveling for something else. And, you know, I'm raising 2 kids at the same time in different countries.
Is that the same father for the 2 boys?
Yeah.
What happened to him?
I don't know.
You don't have to talk about it.
No. I wish I could tell you more. I don't know a lot about him, to be honest with you. The kids.
No, it's funny.
The kids
I
keep me in the loop on occasion. I wanted to maintain a friendship, and unfortunately, he
it's hard.
didn't.
Having a personal life and being an actor is fucked up. It's really hard. You know, I know what it's like for me, but, you know, I mean, look at you. My God, honey, it's not going to walk down the street. People would stare at you and look at you even if you weren't in the movies.
No,
but you know that about yourself, don't you?
Very sweet. No, I never ever saw myself. I guess over the years heard really lovely things about that, but I never saw myself in that way. I always thought of myself as kind of tomboyish and kind of androgynous and kind of not that. And I think with time, maybe I got a little more confident in the way that I looked from hearing from people. But I never felt that way about myself. No, but it's nice to hear. It's especially nice to hear when you're coming up on 50. Bring it on! Bring it!
Did you just finish anything that's coming out soon? Are you doing something now?
I have 3 things coming out. So I have something called Cinderella's Revenge that's coming out in April. I do not play Cinderella, but I do play a step fairy godmother, or a scary godmother in this case.
They dress you up like a scary godmother.
I'm not in makeup or anything like that, but I have it's a kind of a fun role in that one. So that's coming out October 26th. I have another couple of things coming out. I have a movie called House of Abraham coming out in a few months as well. We're just getting ready to screen that in a few days, and that's kind of really weird subject matter, actually. We'll see how I'm starring in that one too. So it's a fun couple of twists.
That's great.
I have some things happening, yeah.
No, I get curious about you all the time when I see you around Malibu, and I'm hoping that somebody's got the greatest part for you. And,
I hope so too, every time.
You really deserve it, kiddo.
Oh, it's sweet.
You know?
I appreciate it. Yeah, I could be, like I said, I could be hungrier when it comes to that stuff.
You
I
have,
just
you
feel
have the intelligence of Susan Sarandon, but you have
that's such a compliment.
you
I
have
love her.
you have the feminine of Carol Lombard. It's a really interesting combination that you have.
Thank you.
You've
God,
always been so
Michael.
curious about you. It's just you're a very mysterious gal.
I like to keep some of that mystery. So funny, recently I was up for a reality show and I just had knots in my stomach about it the whole time. I was so, because it's very different to sit here and talk to somebody for an hour about your life than it is to be out in the world selling your secrets, selling selling your privacy. It's your it's your privacy, and I'm an open book if we sit and have a conversation, but there's so much of me that I like to maintain my privacy. I don't know what it is. I have such a weird kind of it's a double-edged sword for me. I'm an open book, and yet I'm like, oh, I don't want people to know my inner stuff.
I did
I am
that fucking
private.
show. What's it called? The House or something like that?
Housewives?
No, no.
The House?
It's like where
What's the House?
they lock everybody in a place and.
Big Brother? Or like one of those
Big
kinds
Brother,
of
is that what
shows?
it's called?
Big
Is that what
Brother?
it's called? I did Big Brother.
You did Big Brother?
In London, yeah.
Oh my God.
No, but they pay me like
A fortune.
yeah,
Which is why
a lot of
which is why you do it.
Crazy amount of money.
Oh my God, I have to go back and watch it
But,
now. I love
honey,
reality TV. I'm
No,
not gonna
please
lie.
don't watch it. But they lock you in this fucking house with all these people.
Yeah.
And it's not a joke. You really are in there with them.
Yeah.
And you can't leave.
Yeah.
And they make you do all these things during the day, the craziest, like, uncomfortable things. And you're everywhere you go in the house is on
So they're
camera.
gonna get good
They
dirt
watch you
on you at
sleeping.
some point, right?
They film you when you're fucking sleeping.
Right. You don't want to be farting in your sleep, right?
Yeah,
on
when
these shows.
I did plenty of times. I was scratching my ass. I'd fart. I'd go, oh, geez, I'd wake up and go,
Hi, camera.
okay.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously.
I always thought about those shows, like those 24-hour camera shows. I'm like, shit, the stuff. I mean, God only
It
knows.
was really, really bizarre.
How many weeks or days were you in that situation?
I think it's like 24 days or some really weird,
Long time.
random number. And
It's a long time.
and there's one person who will be left at the end who's like the winner,
Right.
and everybody
And do you
starts
get voted
plotting
off?
against each other.
Right. So they're strategic
and they
and they're.
secretly vote each other out, and
Yeah.
you get set up in these personal vendettas, and
Wow.
it was really dark and fucked up. I made it all the way
Was
to
it
the
really
end.
dark for you? Did you make it to the
I
end?
made it
Yeah.
to the end. There was me and I was one of three at the very end.
Wow.
It starts out with like 10 people.
Wow. So you were strategic, or people just liked you, or were
Never
you
again.
strategist?
Never do it again.
Were you strategic in the way that you played the game, or?
I knew that it was a setup going into it.
Uh-huh.
And so I psychologically just kept telling myself that it wasn't real. It's, you tried to get me to do stuff. And I could tell when I was being set up to do something specific. Mm-hmm. And instead of reacting like I would, I purposely didn't,
You played a role. You just played a role on some level, basically. You're like,
It got really disturbing toward the end. It was
oh my God, I'm so curious. I want to see it now.
It was horrible. It was so
Would you ever
fucking
do
horrible.
something like that again?
No, I
like a
wouldn't, no.
reality type show
No,
in that
I wouldn't,
way?
but I
or-
know what you meant when you were saying about you.
My gut, like it's just something in me, and it's, but then it's good opportunities, or the money's good, or the opportunities that come from it are good, right? So it's still a business. We still have to live. We still got to pay our bills and live.
You're guarded as a woman, which you have to be when you appear the way that you do.
I'm very
Where do you think
open,
that
but
came
I'm
from your childhood. Like, what made you, Natasha, be feel guarded about yourself?
That's funny that you think I'm guarded. That's interesting.
It's not a bad thing.
No. I'm very, very, I think I'm very friendly. I'm very personable. But my intimate side, the very intimate private side of me is just for a few people, and that's it. Like, it's just.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of really good, dear friends. They know me intimately. As well, I would say. I grew up in a family, in a household where I adore my parents, but like recently I went through something really tough.
I met your mom.
You've met my mom. Yeah, you met her recently at an event. That's right.
That was good.
She's such a sweetheart. She's like so childlike in her ways. My dad was Canadian, meat and potato, go to work, come home, eat dinner, go to bed. don't talk about things. Don't, not a very intimate, communicative family in that way. I was loved very much. My parents are loving, but nobody talks about things. For instance, like I lost somebody very, very close to me a year and a half ago. I went through like the hardest months. It's still tough, right? I went through months and months and months of pain and misery and it was just horrible. It was horrible. And my dad didn't call me for 3 months. Sorry about that, Tosh. And when I brought it up to him, sorry about that, Tosh, I should have called him, like, yeah. So they show love, but they don't communicate. And I think there's a lot of guardedness in me in that way, but I'm very different.
Did they split up when you were young?
No, they're together still.
They are.
They just celebrated their 50-year anniversary.
What in Natasha sounds like Russian.
Yeah,
what is Henstridge?
Not Russian at all. So Henstridge is English, basically English, British. It's a British name.
Did MGM do Species?
Yes.
We did.
Yeah.
Did they try to get you to change your name?
Yep.
I bet they did. Gosh.
Actually, I don't know if MGM tried to get me to change my name, but right before I got Species, so maybe it was in talks with the agents at the time.
Yeah,
they came to me and they talked to me about changing my name.
You to be some normal sounding.
They did, and I said,
Lindley.
Do you know what I said to them? My agent
you.
came. No, I went, you know what?
No, I like my name.
If it matters enough to people, they'll learn it. If it doesn't, it won't matter anyway.
Hey, listen, Arnold Schwarzenegger got away with it. So.
Right. I was like, it's my name. It's my family. I'm keeping it.
Are you more, I'm worth more foreign. So is that with you too?
I have some
would imagine.
I have some foreign value, I think. Yeah. Yeah. I guess that's why they hire me in the UK and various places. I'm assuming.
I'd love to do another picture with you.
That'd be awesome.
I think somebody missed the fucking bucket with us, and I think if it was the right thing, we'd be a good Bonnie and Clyde or something like that, or something
fun.
where you and I were criminals somehow. And
back to the criminal world.
No, but in a good way, like.
But in a fun way.
In a fun way, yeah.
With some kind of.
We had redeeming qualities in our crime sprees,
Right.
I think that would be wonderful.
Not a bad person, just makes bad decisions, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm a leading man, and I was born in a bad guy's body.
Right.
Basically.
Well, you got a leading man's thing too. How's your face feeling?
Oh, it's just swelled up,
Yeah.
It just took a big pop. I had gear on.
You had the gear?
But I had this half of it was off.
Oh.
I got hit from the other side, and I hit him.
Yeah.
And then when I turned my head, my gear came off, and bam, he got me right in the cheek.
Oh my God. That's what the gear is for.
No, he's a fighter. He's a
proper.
He's a proper champion. Yeah. So.
Wow. Very cool.
It's I deserved it because
you didn't have your gear on properly.
Yeah, I've had that trouble in life. Yeah, so I have 5 boys.
Gosh, 5 boys.
4 now.
No girls.
No.
No, 5 still. 5
I actually do have a daughter.
You do?
Yes, I do.
Well, what about her?
But she's no. See, I was incarcerated many years ago in Arizona.
Okay.
Before I ever came to Los Angeles and became this thing.
Right.
And I was doing a lot of bad things, and I had I had to do 4 years in state penitentiary.
Okay.
But I was in Maricopa County jail.
State, so that's jail, not prison.
Well, I was going to go to prison,
right.
basically, after a certain point. Anyway, I knew a young lady prior to going to jail.
Yeah.
And she had a daughter, which I didn't find out about until, many years later.
Really? Like the daughter was grown up kind of thing?
Yeah,
wow.
Completely. And the mother passed away.
Wow.
And she's married. She's got 3 kids and...
Are you in touch? Do you know her now?
Well, sure. Yeah, as much as possible.
With all that time.
It's just it's impossible if you're, there's no connection. There's it's very hard to create something like that. I mean, it's a terrible thing to try to figure out.
Yeah.
But I didn't have the ability to be a dad with her. It made me very uncomfortable. That was taken away
from you, really. I mean,
yeah. And I felt awful for the mom.
Yeah.
But, she should have told me.
Yep.
That would have been good if I had known about it.
At least, yeah.
And when I finally found out about it, I was in no position to be able to do anything about it. You know what I'm saying? I was a fucking convict.
Yeah.
And anyway.
There's something charming about you jailbirds, though, isn't there? Something very charming. I'm dating one, too.
I know
he did
you
a
are.
lot of time.
I've seen him, I know.
Our pickers are so good, us girls.
He's cool. No,
He is cool.
I
He's
figured
very
that out right away when I saw him, yeah.
He's very cool.
No, it figures that, you picked
You learn
a
a
good
lot of shit there, apparently, when you get put away.
Yeah, you do, yeah.
You hopefully get wiser.
Oh, I was really super bad for a long time. I did a lot of bad things, and but
we'll talk about that off air because I want to know all the bad shit you did,
oh,
or
my
on
God.
air.
No, buddy, I did.
I'm scared to know some of the answers. Actually,
I never thought that I was. I didn't think I was catchable. See, I was bulletproof, and I thought it was all pretty cool.
You were smarter than everybody else, right?
I was, yeah, for a long time. I got away
You
with
were
it.
for a while, were you?
Yeah, but that straightened me out, boy. I'll tell you. Once they clank that door closed, it'll change your attitude.
Why do you think? I know this is your show, but why do you think you ended up in those situations? You asked me how I became who I am. What was your family dynamic like?
My father was a firefighter.
Yeah.
My mom was like a legal secretary.
Were they together for many years? Were they?
My parents divorced when I was 11.
Okay.
And,
Formative years, they were all together and stuff?
Well, formative, I mean.
Well, I mean, you're never really formed, are you, as a man?
No, not really.
I'm just
I was
teasing.
nuts, honey. I was really nuts. I mean,
Well.
I just was doing bad things for as far back as I can remember.
Wow.
I was always criminally oriented for some reason. Like I could look at a building across the street and I could figure out how to get in there. After hours, I'm positive that I could. It was just something in me. I knew how to start a car without a key, and I figured stuff out. I always had guns for some reason. I was always attracted to guns, and I'd always have them or get one from somebody.
Yeah.
And I guess, I don't know, I was just, I felt comfortable doing wrong things, you know?
That's just where your comfort level.
Yeah.
How about siblings? Do you have siblings? Were they like
two
that?
sisters. I had an older sister and a younger sister.
Were they like that too?
No.
It's just you.
You probably know Virginia.
Oh my God! Of course. Yeah.
Was,
Yes.
she was.
Of course, yeah.
But when I went to California, it was really bizarre because I got a part in a little movie. I was a soldier. And so I was pumping gas in Beverly Hills. And I started getting episodic television. I did Cagney and Lacey and Tour of Duty and Miami Vice and, you know.
Did you want to act? Did you come out here and go, I'm going to try and act? What the hell?
I came out here to do a part that I got strangely in a haphazard way. I was going to school to be a paramedic.
Okay.
And a kid in my class was an actor.
Yeah.
And he kept trying to get me to go with him to an audition. And I really didn't want to do that. And he talked me into it one day, and I saw, you know, what he had to go through to get it. And I couldn't figure out why anybody would want to do that with their life. But when we were leaving, this person was from California, was shouting at me, asking me why I didn't come up to read. And I explained, well, I didn't come here for that, man. So, you know, I was weirded out by it. But I ended up reading some stuff. And then they got in touch with me through him.
Right.
And I went to see my sister's agent. And I got a little part in a picture as a soldier in California.
Wild.
And I said, well, where the hell the fuck am I supposed to get there? They go, Michael, they'll fly
Figure
you
it.
out. Where am I going to stay?
Right.
Well, I sleep in the street in the park. I said, no, Michael, they'll give you a hotel.
Right.
And so when I got to LA, I figured it was a joke.
Yeah.
And it was never going to keep going. This is fucking ridiculous. I must have tricked somebody into this. So I right away got a job pumping gas in the Beverly Hills. But I didn't realize Beverly Hills.
Right.
And people were rolling in there, you know, Jack Lemmon and Fred Astaire and
Right.
Cicely Tyson and
Wow.
Mark, Don Knotts and Peter Falk. That's where they went to get their gas every day.
Right.
And I was just like, oh my God.
This is real. This is like this Hollywood thing is a real thing, right?
Yeah, it was a real thing.
Right.
You know, and I met a girl who knew another girl and who knew a manager, and they started submitting me for episodic television.
Right.
And as soon as I started doing that, I realized I didn't have to go back to Chicago, right? Mm-hmm. So it was all a trick. See?
To your tow truck driving career.
Yeah, I didn't have to go
Wild.
back and drive the truck anymore. But then I played Glenn in Free Willy, who was a tow truck driver.
Oh, how funny! Yeah.
So that
funny.
was bizarre.
Wild.
But after that, I got mistaken for a villain. I could have went the other way.
Mistaken, huh?
Oh, well.
They had your number.
Somebody did, yeah. Do you feel like
You
you
like
were...
my coffee in this fancy coffee in my wine glass?
That's
Look.
only you could get away with that, see? And look how precious you are when you drink it. Do you feel like you've been typecast, or do you feel like you're moved to a different place where you could play just about anything?
I don't know about playing just about anything. I'd love to say I'm that good of an actress, but I will say I went from being the cute girl looking hot and dress her up and make her pretty to playing really intelligent roles. So I did a bunch of TV shows where I was playing lawyers and,
Yeah,
and
sure. I see
really
you doing
intelligent characters. And that helped my life and career because I feel like there were a lot of girls in my sort of age bracket that were doing certain things that never got out of it because they always had to be the hot, cute young girl. And to be able to play really smart characters helped me a lot. I only play them. I'm not smart. I just play them. They write them well for me. But.
If you could play any part, if someone said, here, we're going to write something for you, what would it be?
Unfortunately, I don't look the part that I would pick, but I'm a huge Joni Mitchell fan. And
Yeah.
And if somebody, I mean, I'm too old and whatever, maybe I could play her later on in life, but I don't look like her and whatever. But that was always, I love her as a singer, as a person, as an artist, as a writer. And I thought that would be a dream role. That would be a cool role to play.
What about, what's her name? You could have played Tammy Wynette.
Tammy Wynette.
Yeah.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. You could have done that.
Didn't she just?
It was the TV movies that they did.
Oh, it was a
recently.
TV movie or something? Yeah.
She's married to George Jones.
Yeah.
Stand By Your Man. It's her big song.
Stand by your man.
Yeah, see?
I'm auditioning right now. Here we
See
go.
how simple. See, I can see you doing that, really.
Oh, that's funny.
You could get away with that. You could play Frances Farmer, probably.
Frances Farmer.
I can see you doing just about everything Jessica Lange did.
Oh,
that way.
Jessica.
I can see you doing all that.
Jessica Goddess Lange. What a compliment. I fucking love her. She's so incredible.
See, there's a reason why you love her, because you get it.
Oh, the
You have
crazy,
that about
the
you,
grace, and the crazy, and the.
You have that about you. You really do. You just wish I was a goddamn producer.
I was gonna do this thing that was very much like Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf recently in England, and it was that kind of peeling away the layers kind of thing.
Those two in real life, and they did that movie together. Holy Christ Almighty! How much was it probably exactly like that for them in reality? That's why they're so good at the movie together.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
and who
man.
hasn't had that relationship?
Those two,
Who've been
fucking hell.
madly in love and crazy?
You ever read Richard Burton's diaries?
I
Probably
haven't.
not.
No, I haven't.
But he talks a lot about Elizabeth, and oh my God,
Yeah, that dynamic together.
he
and
worshipped that woman.
stuff. Yeah.
And it's easy to see why he would.
Yeah.
But he was the only one that ever really, besides Mike Todd, I think, he's the only one that ever really got to her, in that way.
It's usually one or two in a lifetime for sure.
Yeah,
it's usually
that's
just
what
one or two.
That's what they say.
That's definitely been my experience.
I'm you don't know how pleased I am that you showed up today, or that you came for this thing. It's so interesting to talk to you. So many things I wanted to know about you.
Did you? What else do you want to know?
I guess I'm curious to know. I would think that you should be. Do you feel like you're catching up to something that they should have been figured out about you a long time ago, or are you really comfortable and you're in a good spot?
All of the above. I think both. I feel really, really. I see a lot of people chasing a lot of shit in life, and I feel like being where you are and being happy with what you have in the moment, in the day, I focus my life on that. I really focus my life on that. I've had a ton. I've had nothing. I've had all the things in between, 10 houses, 7, this mansion, nothing, shit apartment. I mean, I've been all over the map with that. And none of it brings that much more happiness. So in that way, I feel really at peace with who I am, where I am. Professionally, I definitely haven't scratched the surface of what I think I should and can do. So.
And you can say what you just said, but you just said you're not a smart person.
That was a
that
joke.
doesn't make sense. See, because
that was a joke.
You're incredibly smart. You're incredibly smart. You're so intelligent.
In many ways, yeah.
No, honey,
not in math.
I know what you mean. I live on the beach with, 3 Corvettes and motorcycles and jetting off to Hawaii and I own property in Italy, for Christ's sake.
Oh my God.
And all this that kind of stuff. But it doesn't mean fuck all.
Right. No.
It doesn't mean fuck all. Mm-hmm. I've been down there in Broad Beach for 24 fucking years.
My dream
location. It doesn't mean fuck all,
Yeah.
It's very funny.
It's funny on the outside when people look at someone who they think has everything, but then you look at, so many people who have it all and are so incredibly unhappy. And
most of them, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of times, unless you have appreciation. I have a 22-year-old son, and all he talks about is when he's rich, when he's got this, when he's got that. And I'm like, son, go for a hike. Make a meal. Do the simple things. Find the simple things in life that I'll do that when I'm rich. I'll do that when I have everything. I'll do that when my business. And it's like, that takes wisdom. That takes age. A lot of people just don't realize that. I think that takes,
2 of my older sons, they're both trying to be actors. Mm-hmm. And I wish to God they would do something else, And the rest of them, they don't even occur to them.
Right. Neither of mine.
Dad, how do you pretend you're someone else? Why would you want to do that? But the other 2, they're going to do it,
Right.
Watching the anxiety of the young man who wants to do that, and on top of the fact that his fucking father already did it.
Yep. That's tough.
Oh my God, honey. So
the pressure and the this and that.
Do your boys look at you like mom's a movie star?
Oh my God, my boys literally think I've done nothing my whole life. What do you do? What's your life been about? Like they've never seen a thing I've done, basically.
Oh, no. Oh.
They have zero appreciation for me as an actor or as a person who's supported their asses their whole life.
Yeah, what
zero appreciation.
What about your mom? She must be proud of you.
I think my kids are young. I think maybe, they're young still. They're boys, 22 and 25. It's going to take them some time. Their dad, on the other hand, is a fucking hero. And am. And it's just it just cracks me up. I mean, that's a boy thing with their fathers or what, same-sex parent thing or whatever. But no, I'm like nothing to them. They're just like, you making me something to eat?
Your boyfriend now, he's a very handsome guy. And I thought he was a good actor.
He is a really good actor.
So have you done anything together yet, you and him?
We met on a movie which I will not name because it's so bad. But we met on that movie, and he chased me around for a couple of years. We became friends for 3 years. Didn't date, dated other people, did the whole thing. Oh, you're
chaseable, sure. And you don't.
I make him wait a long time.
You don't give in too quickly.
No, I don't.
That's a good quality.
No, I don't.
Guys always try to figure out. Well, she's like that.
Women
she must have been the same way for everybody else before me.
Right.
Right. It is,
I think women are so interesting sometimes when they're like, but he likes me. Even good friends of mine when they were dating, but like he's so into me, and I'm like, what are you into? It's not hard to, as they say, excuse me, catch a dick, right? It's pretty easy as a woman. Like, what is that like your big claim to fame? Because he wants to sleep with me. Everyone's gonna want to sleep with you. What's the, like?
Oh, it's so smart though.
Like, what do you want? Who are you interested in? What do you want?
Oh, honey,
by the way,
you've been.
I'm not saying I'm a saint. I have not been a saint. Don't get me wrong.
I'm saying you're right for the picking of. You should be rediscovered, or.
Yes.
You've got to be.
I agree.
I think somebody out there isn't looking around hard enough. Maybe they'll see this damn thing.
Perfect.
I had to see you, and I'm so glad
Thanks,
that you
Mike.
showed up. And
me too.
You're everything that I would have imagined, honey, honestly.
Aww.
Even more so.
You're
Thank you very much.
You're a sweetheart.